Okay, listeners, we're doing a champagne split. And what we're talking about is single woman props this week.
Single woman props.
Single woman props.
No, wait. We don't have those. What are you talking about?
It's a single woman problems. Today and yesterday and the day before that. And next week.
There you go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, the single woman problem I had.
And Lauren was the one with the single woman problem this week, or yours was the biggest.
So,
Yeah.
yesterday I was, which it turned out not to be like that big of a deal, but I needed to think through how I was going to deal with it given the fact that I don't have I've got a person, but I've never dealt with this as a single woman. So today, yesterday, I drove to my workplace. I was going to Target and I was going to where I work to drop some things off. I just happened to go where I work first. I took some costumes in, like you do when you're a theater educator.
Okay.
And I walked back out to my car to crank it and it wouldn't crank. So I thought, car, why you do me like this? Why would you not tell me this was going to happen beforehand? But it did not. So I did the thing, I pumped the gas, and, did the wheel side to side, cranked it again, nothing, nada. I sat there for like 5 minutes. So when it was done, I called my boyfriend and I said, hey, my car will not work. And he said, okay, I'll be there in a second. So my boyfriend comes, tries to jump me off. It's the first quasi, emergency, I guess you can call that an emergency. It's a car emergency situation that we've dealt with. So he tries to jump me off, doesn't work. Well, my child is increasingly active, is running around in the grass. Everybody's frustrated. I'm in tears because I don't feel good either. So it's just frustrating. So I called my mother. She came to get my kid. And I was reminded that I have AAA. I just don't ever have to use AAA. So I called AAA and my boyfriend looked at me and he goes, okay, let's go get a drink. Can we just go get a drink while we do this? I was like, sure. So we're waiting on AAA. He says it'll take up to an hour or so. So we go back. AAA is able to check it, and they're able to get it started. And I drive it to a local mechanic that I trust, and I end up leaving it there overnight for him to look at tomorrow. Luckily, the only thing I had to do today was go to my church, which is a block from where I live. So I just took a little jaunt a couple of times to church, and it was easy. And I had that local mechanic that I trust, that I know I can leave my car there and I'll take the key there tomorrow, and had a couple of car options should I need them. But that is how I dealt with that. And it frustrated me that it was happening. It frustrated me to worry about money when I don't know what I don't,
because you don't know what this problem really
no,
is. You
and
hope
it's not
the battery.
I don't have a store of extra, which that has become a single woman problem that I have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I like singing single woman problem. Can we do that?
Sure.
Can we make that a thing?
Come on.
So we are going to, or I need to troubleshoot that for future. I really have to store away a little bit just in case of immediate issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, because $100 here or there is not that big a deal, but I was just what if this is $1,000 problem? And that's going to be tough for me. So anyway, just that. So that's kind of what happened. That's kind of how I solved it. Everybody was really helpful that I needed to call. Luckily, I had had my boyfriend or my mom not been available, I had other people I could have called. But I think it's important. I don't know. That was the first time that's happened to me,
Well, that's what you have a community. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons it's important that we build community,
Yeah.
especially when we're single after divorce. The community that we had, the person that we depended on, we no longer do. So to have that community, because you could have called either.
Yeah.
Well, I think
We'd
it's
have come to
important
get your child.
to have a backup plan. I moved to my old town, my hometown, but I didn't even think about what happens when I'm working and my child needs to come home. Who's on my
Who's on the
emergency
checkout list?
The emergency contact. The checkout list is a big deal. If you have a child in school, you have to have people that are willing to do that. So that's when you use that circle of friends. Your situation with car problem, another way that you have to have an emergency contact, and you kind of have to be aware also of what's available in your community too. And I think that's where other moms in your little groups you know, if you say, hey, who do you use for this, or who do you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you
So-
didn't have that mechanic in your back pocket, someone you knew and trusted,
Right.
you would be reaching out, going, "Okay, where do other
Well,
people
and I
go?
think
What do I do?"
Especially, like, I happen to be in my hometown and my parents live here. So, like,
Right.
if I need a recommendation for something, I honestly call my dad or my stepdad, and they tell me
Yeah.
who I need to go to. This mechanic is the same mechanic both of them have been using my whole life. Like,
Right.
I knew his dad. So that's
Yeah.
a good thing about a smaller town, I
Well,
guess.
so one of my best friends, when I have some of those type of issues, especially with the house stuff,
Mhm.
I'll call and say, "Could you please ask your husband
Yeah.
who I need to ask, what I need to do, what are the steps for this?" Because I know he's in the know
Mm-hmm.
a lot more than some of the other people in my circle because
Right.
of his experience. So,
I call my brother
Mhm.
because he's lived here almost his whole life, and you know, he also is a homeowner that has had some things and car problems, and so I call him for his first recommendation. So
well, congratulations on getting your single woman problem
Thank
solved.
you.
there you
Hopefully,
go.
I'll get it solved tomorrow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Here's hoping that it's just like a really quick fix, and that has been, listeners. I own a Toyota Highlander, and it has been the best vehicle I've ever had in my life. Like, it's so good, it's so reliable. I've never had a thing go wrong with it. So I'm pretty sure it's just the battery needs to be changed. Anyway.
All right. So, what do you think your best advice when you come a problem like something like this just blindsides you with a problem? Like, what is your advice as to how to handle it right off the bat?
Compartmentalize. Just like,
Don't panic.
yeah, it happens to everybody. Like it ruined my evening plans. Like, but that was the worst thing that happened, is that it ruined my evening plans yesterday. So, and it just, it's life. You can't predict that always, and
So just kind of remember that it's
yeah.
it's life. That's good.
I think also, Carolyn and I are big Dave Ramsey fans,
Yes.
and he always says something is going to happen. If you buy a house, Murphy is going to move into your spare bedroom. You know, the
Murphy's
Murphy's
Law.
Law.
Mhm.
If something can go wrong, it will go
Yes.
wrong. And you're supposed to have an emergency fund of $1,000
Mm-hmm.
To start.
that you never dip into. Yeah, to start, that you never really dip into, and it's just for those
Yeah.
things. Like, what if this is $1,000 car bill, or what if my child breaks their arm and has to have an ambulance ride, and you're
Well, and you know what I've had to do. So when I was doing my art shows,
Mhm.
anytime I get anything in cash, I've saved it,
Mhm.
and then so I don't spend it. So I'll
Mhm.
have my
cash on hand.
yes,
Mhm.
just in case I have to have it, I'll have that there,
Yeah.
and I'm pretending I don't even have it.
Yeah.
But when it's in my bank account, it's so easy to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and that's a good tip too. That would be
Yeah.
considered the envelope system.
Well, it's
'Cause
kind of
you
a
have it,
drawer
but
in
you
the
don't.
back of a weird drawer system
Yeah.
for me right now. But yeah,
But I used to keep that too.
yeah,
on
because it's
hand,
hard.
So
It's so easy to spend with plastic. It's harder
Mhm.
to spend that cash.
you think twice.
And and if you hide it away, it's not easily accessible either. I can't
Right.
just spend it when I'm at work and really want to go out to eat. That's all the way back at the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
That's a good thing. Well, I think also, besides trying to prepare for the inevitable that something is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
that also make sure you have up to date phone numbers, lists of people,
Mm-hmm.
that you can call for services that you might not use all the time.
And don't hesitate to call people.
Yeah.
So if you had not been able to if your parents had all been out of town,
Yes.
if your boyfriend had been at work,
Right.
like who would did you have a list you could go down? Someone you didn't really want to ask for help, but you just have to be willing to ask those people anyway.
Yeah. No. I have plenty of people that I
Mhm.
know I can ask for.
Right.
I mean, I have you guys,
Yeah.
and then, yes, several.
Yeah,
like
so
even
that's you just have to be willing to go down
my
that list
friend
until you find
was having a
somebody to help.
birthday party last night, and I had to text them and say I couldn't come because I couldn't get there. I was waiting for a tow truck, and her boyfriend texted me back and said, "Do you need anything? Do you need help?"
That's
and I said,
nice.
"That's so sweet,
Yeah.
but like,
Oh, that is
you
sweet.
know,
That is very
but I'm good. I'm taken care of." But
This goes under the pick your friends wisely.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you're in the middle of a divorce, it's kind of hard because we've already talked about some people take sides, and then
Yeah.
your friend group kind of shrinks a little bit.
Well, and you
It
end up in
becomes more secure, but it also shrinks a
Well,
little.
you're in a different place, really.
Really,
And so you
yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
So, well, good. This was a good
So
little
that's
switch.
a good.
So we're gonna talk more about single woman problems as they come up every week.
That's
Yes,
right.
and we'll have different champagne splits.
Yep.
So,
Sounds good.
Cheers.
all right, cheers.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Thank y'all for joining us for Champagne Sunday.
See you next week,
See
See you
girls.
next week. Yeah, cheers.
Have a good week.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.